Thank you for joining us. We're in a very competitive job market. How are you going to stand out from the crowd of applicants competing for the same job? What if you could enhance your resume or employment application with a report that includes an evaluation of your work performance and recommendations from people with whom you've worked? Discover how to create your personal e-reference report in just a few minutes with 3 easy steps. Once you create your account and log in, you will come to the main navigation page. The tabs along the top of the page allow you to create a new EReference Check report and manage reports that are in progress or completed. We added the ability for you to test the EReference Check process without cost or obligation. Just click on Test the EReference Check process for free, and you can practice how to create a questionnaire that will prompt a response from your references. Let's review how you can create your EReference Check report in just a few minutes with 3 easy steps. When you click on Create New EReference Check Report, you will find a description of both professional and personal references and brief instructions to add a reference to your report. For this demonstration, let's click on Add a Professional Reference. Adding a professional reference allows you to elaborate about the nature of your occupation and the reference that you will provide. The first step is to click the occupational category down arrow and choose the most appropriate occupation. For this demonstration, we will choose a nurse. You can add additional information about your occupation in the very next field. The next step, enter the name of the professional reference with whom you have worked. Your reference can be a supervisor, coworker, or peer. You can also use a reference that worked at another company with whom you've interacted. Include the name of your reference and a description in the next field that includes a detailed explanation of your working relationship with this reference. This is very important so the recruiter understands your relationship to the reference you are providing. In the next step, enter the reference's email address and choose your relationship to the reference. One of the most important aspects of the process is confirming the identity of the reference you're providing to a potential recruiter. If possible, always use a work email address for your reference. You can add the reference's LinkedIn account information and their business telephone number and other relevant identifying information. If you have a question during this process, click on the red box with the question mark for further explanation. When you finish entering information about your reference, click Save. You can always come back at a later date and add or correct information you previously provided, as long as you haven't checked out. You'll be directed to the questions that are created for your reference based on the occupation you chose in the previous step. In this example, standard questions have been created based on the entry of nurse in the occupational category field. This step has several options from which you can choose to manage the questions which will be received by the references you just entered. You can delete any of the standard questions that were developed for this reference. Just click Delete in the row associated with the question you want to delete and click Yes to confirm. The question will be permanently deleted and cannot be recovered. You can also create questions and prompt your reference to respond to specific questions regarding your abilities, work performance, and experience by clicking on Add a question that your reference will respond to. Don't worry about making a mistake. You can always modify or delete any question you create for your reference until you're satisfied with the questionnaire. What would a recruiter want to know about you and your work performance? Enter the question that you want to ask your reference that will highlight your experience. Then, choose how you want your reference to respond. You can choose either a yes or no response, a rating of 1 to 5, or you can allow your reference to provide a narrative response that will allow them to elaborate about the question you have posed. Click Save to continue. In this screenshot, 2 sample questions can be seen that were created to allow the reference to elaborate regarding the applicant's experience as a nurse. You may review the questionnaire that will be sent to your reference so you have an idea of what they will receive in the email when you click Review the questionnaire your reference will receive. You can add and delete questions until you are satisfied with the questionnaire your reference will receive. However, we highly recommend that you keep the total number of questions for each reference 25 or less. The goal is to create a concise report that highlights your qualifications for recruiter review. Once you have completed the entries for the first reference, you can continue to add additional references. You can create one ERC report for each employer where you've worked, or you can include references from all of your past employments in one ERC report to highlight your experience. This is the email that your reference will receive. Your reference will be prompted to click to proceed to the questionnaire that you created and enter their responses to your questions. Once your references respond, click on Manage Your ERC, and you can track the responses from your references and view the report that's been created. You can delete an entire ERC report if you are unhappy with the result. If a reference does not respond or you're not happy with their response and you do not wish to include a reference in your ERC report, you can click to remove the reference. You can print your ERC report and submit your report with a resume or an employment application. You can also bring your ERC report to a job interview to highlight your experience. Your ERC will be available on your smartphone for easy access. Your ERC report includes an embedded confirmation code for employers to confirm that this is in fact a valid Career and Talent Hub report. Right-click on this confirmation code highlighted in yellow, click Copy Link Information, and you can copy and paste this code into your resume, an online employment application, or when you create a profile on our job board. One click on this link and your potential employer will view a report that includes your experience and abilities. This is an example of a resume that includes the confirmation code and the link to your ERC report. When you apply for a job online and enter employment information, you can include the link to your ERC report. One click and the recruiter can review comments and evaluations from your references. You can include your ERC report even when you create a profile on the Career and Talent Hub job board or any other job board. Just copy the link location and paste it in the appropriate area. Now you know how to create your EReference Check report. We look forward to working with you and helping you advance your career.